Welcome everybody to video number 1 of the Space Battleship Yamato build. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to this, so have I. And just to give you all a heads up what I plan to cover during this build, I made up this nice nifty little list. So, first and foremost, one of the big things for Yamato will be the lights. I'm going to be doing the bridges, the first, second, third bridge, the recreation deck, and some of the running lights. So it'll be port starboard running lights as well as white formation lights along the on the engine fins. Kind of part and parcel with the lighting is going to be the Mad lighting circuit, which will provide light for the wave motion engine as well as the wave motion cannon. There will be a separate review on that as well. It's a really nice little circuit. If people want to add a little bit of something extra to it, to their Yamato builds, it's something I'd recommend. Then there's going to be turret control. This is going to be the hard one because the ship's got I want to use a servo driver to control the 3 main turrets, and I've got some ideas on that. I'll get into that a little bit later. Sound effects. Shooty pow pow. If you go through my videos, you'll see a message recorder from Big Dog's Greeting. I'm going to tie that in with the wave motion cannon. So when you push the fire button to shoot the cannon, you also get the build up and the fire sound. Custom base, which is going to be important because I'm going to have to conceal the battery as well as the turret control and all the different circuits involved. And of course, at the very end, paint. I saw a really nice build on the on YouTube. The person used the close to the we'll say proper colors. How do you really say how do you really say what is the proper color? But they used the dark blue like you see on the box art. Well, I'll drop the whiteboard here in a second. So he used a very similar color to what's on the box art, but he added some metallic to it. It looked really sharp, and that's something I'm going to recreate myself. And like I said, you can say the bluish gray. So something a bit like that. You can almost tell on the box art as well that it's a bit of a metallic sheen. So that's what I'm going to try and replicate. So without further ado, I guess part 1 for this is really, well, not really part 1, but the easiest part for me to tackle for this will be the bridge. So just stand by. I'm going to open up the box, get some sprues out, and I'll start building this bad boy. Okay, so what I've got laid out here are the main pieces of the secondary bridge. The left or port starboard, if we want to keep this nautical. Port starboard sides, fore and aft. Now the way this model is designed is that a lot of the seams are hidden, or a lot of the sprue points, because you know you have the big pore stubs. Well, you look here, let me zoom in for you. You can see here that little nib there is one of the sprue mounting points. There's another one right here, and the last one is on this raised part right here. Now all those sprue points, well, this is going to be the bottom, so it's going to. This one here is the bottom, so no one will see that. But if I take the parts, push them together, this is the second bridge here. Move it around back. This panel here goes like that. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. There we go. And then the front. Now, you see that? Goes together. Nice and solid. It's not coming apart. And I'm going to zoom in again because remember I was talking about how the parts fit. Come on, you can focus. You can just slightly see the seam line there. So because I'm going to glue this, that will clean up really easily. And the front seam here, it kind of leads into a step, so you could argue for either way that it needs to be filled or it doesn't need to be filled. It's just a very nice attachment point. Now if you see here, up in the second bridge, it's kind of shiny. That there is, let me pry this piece off, is this right here. Now, if built unlit, like straight from the box, they provide you a piece of metal foil with the big nameplate that sticker I showed you when I did the review. So you would actually put the piece of foil there, assemble your bridge with the clear windows. Probably to get the best screen accurate look, you tint the windows with clear green, either Tamiya or Humbrol. That way, when you look at it, it would reflect the light from behind, and you'd be able to see your green windows. However, as you know, I'm going to be lighting this, so this piece here has got to come off. I'll probably end up enlarging the hole as well. Now I'm just going to take this all apart again, open it up. The parts fit is really good. There. So, there's the pieces I was saying, and you can see inside here, I'm actually going to take advantage of that. I'm going to have my LEDs in here. This is all going to be painted white, and along the back here, I'm going to have a curved piece of plastic to use as a reflector to get the maximum amount of light shining through the front. Then I'll just have a hole drilled in the bottom and one in the top to feed lights up for the second bridge, as well as the captain's ready room. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get out my razor saw. Actually, for this, I don't think I'm going to use my razor saw. So I'm just going to use my razor saw. I'm going to cut that off, and I'll show you the end result. So stand by. Actually, I thought I'd include you guys in on this. So let me zoom out a bit. Wrong way. New camera. So here's my trusty little razor saw. These you can pick up the hobby shop fairly inexpensively. So I'm going to zoom back in, and you're essentially just going to cut along here like that. Oops. I'm using the zoom control on the screen. It's not as fast as using the flip-flop. It's starting to get noisy here, but I'm about to start cutting, so it's not going to really matter. Big time excitement, I know. I will say these models are very user-friendly. The plastic is not too soft, but it still cuts fairly nice. And there. So that's cut open. Obviously this is a little too small for the light to come through. I'll pry that off. So I'm going to do this off camera. I'm just going to use my X-Acto and then going to enlarge this, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And some cutting and sawing and filing later. Got a nice big open hole. Now if you see inside here, you can see the attachment point here, the pin and socket. Now obviously that looks like it's going to interfere a little bit, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut it out. This is going to be glued together anyway, so it's going to be solid regardless. One thing's for sure, you can't accuse them of skimping on, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't accuse them of skimping on the reinforcements. This model is really sturdy, so it'll definitely be able to handle losing a locator peg and pin. Pegs. There we go. So now I'll zoom back in. So you see that's gone there. Oh, that's gone there. Notice if I flip it around, when I removed it, I actually punched a hole. There's actually a piece that's going to cover that, so I'm not too concerned. Now if we do a quick fit check. So then I got the big wide open hole. Big wide open hole. Now if I put the piece in place, you can see, yeah, I'll try and zoom in a little bit. I wonder if, whoops, a little too much. I'm just going to turn the light on, see if that helps at all. Not really, but if you look inside, you can see just the very tip of the ledge of the inner piece. And likewise on this side. So we're going to have plenty of room for light to show through, so that's good. I'll zoom back out a bit. So that's coming along well. And as I said, the back piece just sits in back. There's no windows. Looks like there's a row of portholes here, but I'm just going to leave those in place. So yeah, this is moving along nicely. Now, because I did cut this apart, just have to be a little bit ginger. I don't want to run any risk of accidentally breaking it. So I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup, and next I'm going to show you the hood for boxing in the back of this. Okay, stand by. So now what I have, I got a nice wide open portal. You can see that. I'll open this up. So I had to add a bulkhead here because the we'll call it the floor didn't go all the way across, so I added that. You can see my backboard here. What I'm going to do once I have my lights installed in the little in the grooves in here, I'm going to, let's see, I can't get some here. In here, I'm going to add some Aves just to smooth that out. And all inside here is going to be painted white to help reflect the light better. So I'll do that. And on this side, I'll do the same thing, add some Aves in here. But for this side, I'll have to wait until after this is glued together. So the next step is going to be putting the LED array together. Okay, so now I have the 3 little chip LEDs. These are actually some of the larger ones I have. Later on I'll show you the really small ones I'm going to use. But I got the 3 chip LEDs for the second bridge all laid out here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tin them. And that's simply just putting a little bit of solder on the pads on the ends here. There we go. So this would be ready to put into the Yamato now. Not too bad, not too bad at all. Next, so I'm just going to give me a second. I'm going to show you where it's going to sit in the Yamato. Okay, so you remember my array for my lights. Unfortunately, they're just not bright enough. Let me quickly plug them in. They have a really nice glow to them, but for the size of the model, it's just not bright enough. So I'll show you what I did. First, I just want to show you the not bright lights. And there we go. See, they look good and all that, but once you put them inside the ship, they're just kind of dim. That black line in the middle is just, I'm going to try and get this to hold still so I can move it. The black line there is just the clear plastic itself. Not much I can do about that. And, you know, once I tint them as well, they weren't going to be bright enough. So what I done, I went out and I bought some 3mm high intensity green LEDs. Here's one I haven't massacred. So, gives you an idea of the size. So I bought some of these, and with a little jiggery pokery, I built an array to this. So you notice the LEDs are considerably different looking. Oops. There we go. I'm just going to back this up a little bit. There we go. So, here's the new ones. And they started life as this. 3 of them, and I wired them up pretty much the same way I wired those. And that's the great thing about LEDs. They're really durable. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. I took my rotary tool, I cut down the LED, and if you see, just let me bring this up closer to the camera. Too close. Is it going to focus? It is. Good. So you look on the LED, got all this clear lens up here. You can cut all of that off. So as long as you don't actually hit the diode inside here, you can do what you want with them. And that's what I did here. So, see if it'll focus in. There we go. Yeah, so I ground them down right down to the base of the diode, sanded them, so I got nice light dispersion, and now I'm going to plug them in and show them to you. So just give me a second here. Here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tape them down like I did the other one. Because after I did my test, is pretty much confirmed that this is the way we're going to go for the lights. Sorry about that, folks. And pardon my sniffling. It's a little cold out today. Hopefully I'm not coming out with a cold. So, just give me a second here. Oops. There we go. So you see how bright that is? It's kind of washing out. And so I'm really happy with that. That's a really high intensity green light. Once it's in the ship, it's going to look great. So I'm just going to put pause. I'm just going to quickly fit it in the model, and we'll see what the secondary bridge is going to look like. So, okay, so now I have the lights actually glued inside. I just used some hot glue. And now for the light test. And I think you'll agree, compared to what I showed earlier, this is much better. So very, very bright, very even. Because I pulled the front off here. The 3 LEDs, because they're recessed, you just see them in there a little bit. Because they're recessed, well, and you got the backboard, when they're on, the light just bounces all around in there, and you get a very even fluorescent green coming out. So that's really nice. So I've got the rest of the, I got the second bridge all done, as you saw. Now to do the wiring of the the first bridge, captain's cabin, and the running lights, since it's going to take a little while, what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the video now, and my next update will have the completed bridge, and then we'll carry on with the next stage of the build, which will be casting the hull halves. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying what I've been doing so far, and there'll be a lot more fun stuff coming up. Take care, everyone, and keep modeling.